up? It is I, the Concrete Catwalk. For those of you who are new to my channel, welcome. I am a reseller that has a closet on Poshmark. I love all things vintage, pre-loved, gently used, you name it. I love it. For my catwalkers, mwah, welcome back. You guys, before I even get into it, I have two things that I want to show you that were thrifted. Okay, so I'm going to give you some advice. You can take the advice or you can leave the advice, but before we even get into that advice, let me just get into this and just show you what I have, okay? I got my little friend back here keeping me company. The first thing that I want to show you, this gorgeous Italian hand woven hat. When I turn this over, this is a vintage hat. It is made by Poshmark. It was made in Italy, and you can see that in here. You can see that it has this ribbon on the side, and I mean, when I say this hat gives you fever, and I can't put this on my head, but you will get the point just from it sitting on here. This hat is going to be listed in my Poshmark closet. If you want to check it out and take a look at it, it will be there. Hat was purchased the same place that this next item I'm going to show you was. Guys, this is the second item, and I'm just going to take it out of the bag that it's in. This is a gorgeous vintage Oscar de la Renta studio, and this is a formal dress. It's a bubble dress, and it's ruched at the upper body. This color is absolutely gorgeous. This is a size 6 dress. It is beautiful. There is a crinoline under here that helps with the bubble. Zippers at the back, you step in it. When I get into this story and tell you what happened with how I ended up with this and that hat, you will totally get it. She's beautiful, this color. This is perfect for fall. If you've got an event that's coming up and you're interested in this, this will also be one of the items that goes up listed in my store closet. Let me just get into this. It's how I ended up getting these two pieces. When I said earlier you could take this or you could leave it, but trust me, because I'm learning from my own advice that I have said and given myself and actually practiced. When you're in the thrift store, whatever it is, the way I ended up with these items is crazy. Let me just back it up. Let me back it up. So I went thrifting. It was at a Goodwill outlet. When I went into the store, you know, it was the mad dash, of course. It was everybody going for the baskets and whatever, you know, so that they could have a cart and put their stuff in. Because we're here where I'm at, everything regarding proximity, this Goodwill outlet is now all spread out. And this is not typically a Goodwill outlet that I go to at all. I get a basket and I'm going around and I'm looking at different things, picking stuff up, I'm putting it in. Let me tell you this. When you are making your moves around the store, or you see things, you pick it up, you put it in your basket. Everybody has a moment when, after they've made their rounds to whatever bins or whatever have you, I don't care where you are, when you're thrifting or how you're thrifting, everybody has a moment where they go through their basket and they decide that they don't want something, or they thought they were interested in something, and they look at it again and it's not what they need, and guess what? It gets tossed back. Stay with me when I explain this to you. The way this worked with these two particular items, and I'm not gonna give details as to was it who had it and what, that's not the point. When you are thrifting, whether it's the Goodwill outlet, Salvation Army, you need to do two things. Use your eyes, and you need to listen. Between the listening and using your eyes is shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Don't say anything. The biggest thing that gets in the way of scoring really nice items is not paying attention to what is being put back, right? And the other thing is not listening to conversations that are being had by folks. Let me get here. in a bin with my cart. I'm in my own world, and there was a bin that was 2 up from me, and there were 2 people that were there. There was a discussion going on. There was one person that had a basket full of stuff, and there was another person that was in the bin. Well, the person that had a basket full of stuff was going through their basket, and they were sifting through, and they were trying to make a determination. This particular person turned to the other person that was at the bin behind them and said, "Excuse me, do you know anything about clothes? Do you know anything about this particular dress?" And the person turned back around and said, "Well, I'm only here shopping for whatever season that they were shopping for in terms of what they were looking for." What that did was that set me in motion, because it got me to thinking, because what by the initial introduction of that conversation, it created a string of events. And mind you, I'm probably about no more than 7 feet away, 7 to 8 feet away from it because of the placement of the bins. The conversation took place, and when I heard it, I immediately looked at it, knew from what it, texture-wise, the fabric, everything, it felt like it was something that was worthwhile grabbing. I'm actually going to insert a clip so you can see how the setup was. They go through the back and forth. This person decides that they don't want it. There were a couple other things. That hat was the other component, and some other things that they decided they did not want, and they gingerly moved on with their basket. Let me tell you something. When you start seeing people put things back, or you start hearing people have questions about things, shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. Shut your mouth. And listen. Use your ears and use your eyes. Because had I would have jumped in, or had I interrupted that conversation, said, "Oh, I can tell you about da-da-da-da-da," I would have not got the dress. This is not being cutthroat. This is not getting into a situation where it's like a dog eat dog. No, no, no. It's not that. It's just, when it was put back, I went over to it. I looked at it. It was vintage Oscar de la Renta, and it went into my basket. And the second piece was when I picked up that large brimmed hat. It was handmade in Italy. That was the other component that went into my basket. The lessons learned for me when I go out and I thrift, it's not that you don't want to get engaged in conversations with people. No, it's that because of the fact that thrifting has become, for some people, very competitive, a way that they are making a legitimate living, a business. They're running this thing full on, full time. You've got to be very careful. If you see things that you might be interested in that somebody is teeter-tottering with putting back, don't interrupt that process. Do not interrupt that process. Let that process happen. What I am beginning to find out with thrifting is you've got to be very strategic, and you've got to be very aware, not in the term of just the environment you're in, but just you have to be aware of the behaviors that take place. Initially, when everybody goes in, you know what they're doing. They're running to pick up whatever they can get. And I'm specifically speaking to the bins. They're running to pick up whatever they can pick up based upon whatever is out there, so that they can take it over to the side, sort through it, and figure out what it is that they want and what they don't want. But when it gets to that next level, where you've got people who may in their mind have questions about, well, do you know what this is? Do you know this brand? Do you know that? No. 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 No, 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 no. Especially if you're not a part of that conversation. Keep your mouth shut. Use your eyes and use your ears, and that'll put you in a situation where you land some of the nicer things, or the nicest things that you may not have seen initially when you came into that store. You guys, popping in this week just to share that experience that happened with me. I did not know I was going to walk out with a vintage Oscar de la Renta dress. I did not know I was going to be walking out with an Italian handmade wide brim vintage hat. Didn't know that. That's why I'm telling you guys, when you go out and you go into this great big beautiful world of thrifting and sourcing and estate selling, garage selling, sometimes it's better to see and hear and not say a word. Pay attention, see what you come up with, because it doesn't necessarily have to be at the first go round when you step in that door. You guys, let me know in the comments below. Have you ever had that happen to you? Have you ever had a circumstance where you went in someplace and, you know, on the second, third, fourth go round, you began to see things that you didn't see initially, and you got things that somebody casted back because they weren't aware of what it was? Let me know in the comments below. Please also head on over to Poshmark, check out my closet on Concrete Catwalk on Poshmark. I typically list items weekly. You can get in contact with me there, leave me a message, and I will answer you swiftly and quickly. Also, if you have any questions, you can also follow me on Instagram. You can DM me there. I am the Catwalks Concrete on IG. You can send me a message there if there's something you see that you're interested in my Poshmark closet. And together we can work it out. We can talk about it so that you can get it before somebody else does. Like, comment, and subscribe to my channel. I post videos weekly. Thank you so much for tuning in this week. And as always, you guys stay safe. And I will see you, you know it, next Sunday.